Alright, continuing where we left off again. We've built a lot of sections on this page. Lots of stuff here. And this time we're going to build this CTA section. And this is pretty simple. It just has a bunch of content in the center and two stock images on both sides. And that's about it. This is the second last section we're going to build. After this, it's just going to be the footer section. And that will be the end. So let's create a CTA component here. As always, I'll change this to a section. I'll give it some padding and a yellow 200 of background color. Put everything in a container. And let's create a flex box right below it. Or actually, instead of that, let's just add a section heading first. And let's put this inside a div. And now let's add some text. And now let's just give this text center. And let's render this on our page. What do we have now? Okay, so I forgot to import our container, so let's fix that first. There we go. And now scroll all the way to the bottom, and this is what we have. Very basic, so let's start fixing this first. Remove some padding and wrap this phrase in our brand color. There we go. Now let's constrain this paragraph to a max width of MD, and let's remove this text center and replace it with a flex box now. We'll turn this into a flex column. And okay, that's not what we want. Instead of justify, let's use item center. Great. And it seems we will need the text center class. So let's add that back, and this is what we have. Now, MD isn't enough width here, so let's try 2XL. And that's a bit better. Now, next we are going to reuse this button that we have in the nav bar. So let's extract it into its own component. I'll just take all of this and put it in its own component, and we'll call it the primary button. Remove all of this and just paste the button that I copied here. It'll take a text prop, which will just be a string, and that's it. Or actually, instead of text, let's use the children prop. So if we want to render icons or something else here, we can do that. Okay, that's done. Now let's actually use this in the navbar and see if it works or not. And yes, it does. So this is working perfectly. Now let's use this in our CTA section as well. Let's render this over here, and we'll call it get started. And we'll also add some margin bottom to the paragraph here, and that looks good. Now let's move this into its own div and use the icon external link here. This will open a link. And let's also align it properly using Flexbox. And there we go. And with that our button is complete. Now let's remove this container, and instead of that, let's just use a Flexbox here. Now let's move this whole thing inside that Flexbox. And here I'll render the images that we're going to use. Now I already got these images from some stock websites. We'll give it a maximum width of 80, and I'll just paste the same thing over here and use the other image. Let's also remove the padding here from this section and see what we have. Okay, so this is what we have now. Let's actually have some bottom padding, but remove the top padding. And that's what we have now. Now I do want to fix these images up a bit, so to do that, let's add some more classes to these images. I'll select both of these, and let's give them a max width of 100 and a height of 80. Let's also give them object center and object color. And okay, so this is wrong. I made some typo. Let's change this width 80 to height 80. And now let's see. And okay, there we go. Now lastly, I just want to change this basic yellow background and use a gradient here instead. So we'll add a gradient to the bottom from yellow 200 to 300 from 60%. And now we have a much better background here as well. And with that, we are done with this section as well.